Well, hello, EKN Nation. Welcome to what is essentially the start of our coverage, our EKN Trackside live coverage presented by Cooper Tires and by the Alan Rudolph Racing Academy of this year's Superkarts USA SuperNationals. My name's Rob Howden. That's David Cole beside me. We're back at it again. We missed this event last year, and all of us unbelievably excited to get back. David, this is it. Leading Edge Motorsports presenting what will be the first of two OutLap preview podcasts. We've got guests lined up. We got to dive into our predictions. This is it, man. It's about time to get ready to go.
It's a new show. It's a new form of our OutLap. We're doing it live, obviously, because you're tuned in watching it. We got a lot of people that are going to be tuning in all night long. We got a number of guests that are going to be joining us. Today's just going to be about 4 categories. Tomorrow night's prime time show is going to be about the 5 senior master categories that we have competing at SuperNationals 24. So it's just going to be unique. So bear with us. This is something new. Again, right. We're trying some new things, but it's very much like our face-to-face, but a little bit different because we're actually previewing an event.
Yeah, and obviously excited, David. I think we were all. Probably speak for most of the people in the sport, man. Not being able to go to Vegas last year. For many of us, myself, Bonner Moulton included, a lot of the guys have been there for the first 23, and to miss that one for the first time was tough. But coming back this year with the 24th edition, crazy to think that potentially there wasn't even going to be a 24th this year. All the stuff that Superkarts USA has gone through, we won't go into that with this. This is previewing the classes, but I think everybody's seen what's happened over the last week and a bit of what SCUs has had to go through, the issues at the Rio and with the Rio, and then having to do what they did to be able to salvage this event, to put it on for the betterment of the sport. Because the bottom line is a lot of money being laid out for an event like this, teams with chassis and engines. This event had to come off. Otherwise, guys are going to be standing with a tab of all the equipment that they had purchased.
Yeah, Leading Edge Motorsports, one of those that have been to nearly every single one of the SuperNationals we had. They understand the significance of this event. And, thankfully, Superkarts USA, they went full tilt. They went all in, and they're like, we're pushing forward. Luckily, again, they're able to find good partners to work with, even returning partner with Westgate, adding in some rooms there as well. So a lot of things. That's the one thing. We're doing a new show here. A lot of things are going to be new and exciting for SuperNationals 24.
Yeah, it's not going to be plug and play, right? Usually we just rolled into the Rio. We know what to do. We know where we walk to. We know what we have. We just walk out the doors. Here's the restaurant. Here's where we park our car. Here's where we have dinner. Here's where we do our nightly debrief shows. Yep. Everything's going to be brand new when we get there. It's going to be interesting first day for sure.
For sure. And, it takes you back to when we were at Sam Boyd, when we actually had to drive to the racetrack. Nobody was staying at the racetrack. So that's going to be something unique. We're staying at a new hotel, Resorts World. And again, Westgate jumping in to provide some rooms as well, too. So, and essentially we're on the strip. The race is again on the strip like we were in 2017 with the parking lot butting up right to Las Vegas Boulevard. Well, we're on Las Vegas Boulevard outside the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. So
way out. That's right.
It's on the north end of side, but we are on the boulevard. So that's another unique aspect to this year's event.
Well, again, folks, let's get things underway and talk a little bit about Leading Edge, our presenting sponsor for this particular OutLap preview podcast. Leading Edge Motorsports is the industry answer to winning in karting. At the helm is industry veteran Greg Bell, who has orchestrated the success of countless drivers dating back to the mid-1990s. Leading Edge Motorsports is the West Coast importer and factory team for IP Karting, which manufactures the ultra-competitive Praga and Formula K chassis brands. In 2022, Leading Edge will be trackside of the SCUSA Pro Tour, Florida Winter Tour, United States Pro Kart Series, Stars Championship, California Pro Kart Challenge, and high-profile Rock Cup events. Contact Leading Edge Motorsports today to book your spot under the tent. Visit leadingedgemotorsports.com for more info or find them on Facebook and Instagram. At Leading Edge Motorsports, winning never gets old. All right, David, let's get underway with this deal here now. It is SuperNationals number 24. The event taking place December 1st to the 5th, essentially Wednesday to the Super Sunday. And as you mentioned, I think the key right there was Las Vegas Motor Speedway, a new venue. The way this event has always worked since moving from the rock pile from Xplex out in Sloan, it's a temporary circuit race now. For the first couple of years, it was not. Grab that racetrack, grab all the barriers that SCUSA owns, find a place to drop it down, and that's what they were able to do on the outside of Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
Yeah, I just talked to Neil Strickland earlier today. They are underway with building the racetrack as of right now. So hopefully we'll get some spy photos of the racetrack. He said probably by tomorrow, everything will, at least the racetrack itself will be built and ready to go. So, and the one thing it's going to be very similar to what we've seen the last 2 years in 2019 and 2018 with the track layout, going to be essentially the same. Obviously with the parking lot, the way it, there could be manhole covers, there could be bumps, there could be this. So they might be able to move certain sections of the racetrack, but essentially the core of the racetrack is going to be about the same. And then when you look at the paddock, it's going to be very similar to 2016 when we had almost like an L-shaped paddock surrounding the racetrack. So
Indeed.
A lot of similarities, but again, just a new location.
As you said, about 0.7 of a mile, I believe. We'll be running in that counterclockwise direction, very similar to the track we've ran in the last couple of years. David, let's look at the schedule. Very similar to what normally happens. Wednesday, 4 rounds of practice, 7 minutes apiece. The track's always good to come in, right? You don't need a long session on that first day. Everybody's kind of getting a feel for it. Get in there. You don't need to do a lot of changes to the chassis because that track is continually going to rubber up. Things change a bit, though, David, for Thursday with 2 rounds of practice and then qualifying at the end of the day. But the practice, you're going to get that longer 12-minute round, I think, which will be key. A little longer in qualifying. I was surprised they went for a full 12 minutes in qualifying.
Well, if you see my note down there at the bottom, it's a format change. So what they're doing now is they're going to try and separate the race groups in qualifying sessions. So if you're one of the 45 categories, they're going to split you guys up in half. So very similar to what we see at United States Pro Kart Series and other programs where they split the field up to give you more track space. So the slower guys are going to go off first. They're going to hit 5 minutes, and then they'll do the second group for another 5 minutes. So essentially that's your 12-minute session. So really only 5 minutes of track time. But again, it's going to be based on your last practice. I believe the last practice on Wednesday. So that's the one thing I didn't double check that. But so it is going to be a new format. We'll talk more about that when we're trackside.
Yeah, and I'm good with having shorter sessions for qualifying. I like to get out there, get it done. That way we don't get the guys rolling out and dicking around and putting around slow, trying to find the fast guy from practice. That always pisses me off. So I'm glad to see that change. But let's talk Friday, Saturday, Sunday, David. Pretty much the same as we've seen before.
Yeah, same as we've seen before. Warm up 2 heat races on Friday, both for the morning groups and the afternoon groups. And then Saturday, you get your warm up and 1 round of heats. And then LCQs for the 3 categories that are going to require it this year.
So when did you first put Las Vegas on the phone in your weather app?
It's been stored there. It's been stored there a long time, but I haven't really been checking it. Really, I haven't checked it all week, actually, because I'm just expecting, when I looked at last week, Friday, it was 70s, 60s as a high temperature all week long. And then lows in the 40s. So we're not dipping into the 30s, which is good.
Thank goodness.
40s is still going to be a little bit chilly, but that's why we're going to have the EKN gear there to buy a bunch of sweatshirts and toques. I don't know if we have the toques back yet, but at least maybe some hats.
What's a toque? It's a toque.
Toque.
Ooh, toque.
Toque. I don't see the word. I can't say it.
Yeah, I'm looking at this right now, and it's literally sunny in 73, 74, 73, 73. That's Monday to Thursday. Man,
yeah.
I don't know that you could ask for much more than that for the first week of December. I'll take that. And lows of high 40s and low 50s.
Yeah. So it's, and again, we're done by 6 o'clock each day. So we are going to be at a little bit of a darkness.
You can bring that up. I know exactly what you're laughing at. You can bring that up more.
Yeah. I got to move my mouse over there. It's a toboggan.
Jack and Gafera. It's like in North Carolina, they call a hat like winter hat a toboggan, which
it's
a sled, for God's sakes.
It's Jake Quellen.
It's Gafera Fawcett.
Anyway,
fantastic.
I think it's going to be a good weather. Again, cross our fingers on any of the bad stuff staying away.
Because we've had some cold times. Let's just be real. We've had some cold times. But yeah, looks pretty good. As if you're someone who's watched any of or listened to the podcast, we'll of course turn this show into a podcast later on as well. But we always do a by the numbers. Look at the numbers that we have because we do have a really good look at the entries. We have the exclusive look actually for the SuperNationals at the entries. David, there were some big numbers before. We go back to 2019, the most recent edition, 502. I believe 493. Was that the pre-entry that we had coming in? We know there's always a couple of walk-ups.
That's the pre-entry number we have right now.
Yep.
So that's what we're kind of going with. And again, there'll be some walk-ups. So we're hoping to get that 500 mark. 502 was the number in 2019, and that was the 5th largest since 2013. So this will be about the 6th largest since that time. So we're hoping to get over that 500 mark and maybe over that 502.
There was a couple when you sent me over. I remember it was earlier last week. You sent me just a list of the classes with the names. That kind of shocked me because of the numbers, rather, because I'm like, yeah, that's what I wanted to see, some big numbers. Essentially the same as 2019 for Micro Swift, a great number 48. So essentially filled that up. David, I know there was a question there after we get done. You can tell me what the actual class maxes were, but 48 for Micro Swift pre-entries, 66 for Mini Swift, 46 for KA100 Junior, and 48 for X30 Junior. A little less than we saw from the 76 a couple of years ago. But was that one of the classes that they locked down to just the one group? Was for X30 Junior?
No, X30 Junior was open for the two race groups. Unfortunately, they only got 48, so they're knocking it down to just one race group. So that's one of the LCQs that we're not going to be running at SuperNationals 24. So all 48 drivers going to be in, along with the micro, all 48 drivers in as well, and 46 in the KA100 Junior. That was locked. KA100 Junior was locked. So that one might have got a little bit more. That one might have got into the 60s, I think, if they would have opened that up.
And one of the things about it, and I'll say this because people say, well, they say it's 44, locked at 44. Over the years, what SCUSA, they've been doing it for so long that they've had to understand that there's traditionally about a 10% cancellation rate. People enter, they'll put all their money in, and then something will happen, they'll pull out. So if you're looking for 44, you go 48 to 50 because you're going to lose 4. And then you can always run a couple more guys on the racetrack if you have to. So that's always kind of been the case that way as well. But David, all in all, some pretty good numbers, I think, and they've got to be happy. Like you said, we've got a couple LCQs, which are always exciting for us. But I love that Mini Swift class at 66. That's man, that's going to be a barn burn. That was when we were doing our predictions, that's one thing that's going to happen here, folks. We didn't talk about when we're done with the categories to a certain extent. We're going to bring in our predictions as well. And I spent most of today going through it, and man, it could have took me longer. It was so hard. I got down to 6 or 7, and I didn't know who to.
There's a lot of categories where you just make a top 10 and you kind of go from there, or you just make your 5 and say, hey, this is it. And you're like, oh, I forgot this. Oh, no, I made my list already.
I forgot one. I saw, I had to go back. I missed it going through because there's so many. You probably have already looked at it. I missed one for sure that could 100% be in there. So
real quick.
Yeah, there's a couple of questions here we'll bring in there.
So it is locked at 44, but they allow more.
David, for the podcast, let me throw it out there. A question from Monica Bradley. Do you know why micros are at 48 with no LCQ while mini is restricted to 40 after the LCQ?
The fields are 44 from what I recall for the main events. So, and again, they do micro to 48 because there could be 4 people that cancel and then they still have a full field. So they kind of fudge the numbers a little bit to allow for a little bit of a larger field, not just in mini, micro, but all the other categories are locked at 44.
Anna Tiffany asked this question here. Dave, I'll bring this out here real quickly just to jump on that one. Let me just try to get here. I'm hoping there will be a live feed. Anna, we will be, EKN will be live audio on Thursday afternoon for qualifying, Friday and Saturday through the heats. And then there will be a live video feed from Greenlight Productions will be live on the Superkarts USA Facebook page throughout Super Sunday as well. And then that coverage will be packaged. And I believe MAV TV, I think it's where it's probably going to end up, David. I'm not actually sure on that. We'll have to confirm. But I know MAV TV's been playing a lot of old races over the last couple of weeks for sure.
They have. And we also have a production meeting tomorrow. So we'll maybe find out some more details from Greenlight Television.
We pause for this quick commercial break. Stay tuned for more here on the EKN Radio Network. In karting, it's important to be supported by the right people. With over 40 years of experience in the sport, Trinity Karting Group has everything you need to make your program successful. We do it all, and we do it right. Trackside support and Arrive and Drive programs are available in 2021 for the USPKS and the Superkarts USA Pro Tour and SuperNationals with full product sales and service and professional coaching from our experienced staff. Trinity Karting Group is a full-service operation based at the Motorsports Country Club of Cincinnati, which gives us access to our custom-designed driver training facility. This allows us to offer private, one-on-one coaching to take you to the next level. Trinity Karting Group is also your Midwest home for Tony Kart and IAMI, and we're your source for MG and Avinco tires in the region. Tony Kart quality cannot be beat, so call us today to put you in a new chassis for your next event. From arrive and drive and coaching programs to the parts you need, let Trinity Karting Group provide you with customer service and a racing experience second to none. Trinity Karting Group has a long history in the sport, a winning pedigree, and we're dedicated to driver development. We take pride in our professional approach and our positive attitude. Let us build a custom race program for you. Give us a call at 513-421-4463 or check us out online at trinitykartinggroup.com. There's a new hot button name in American safety equipment, Stilo USA. Every product with Stilo is focused on safety, comfort, and function. Stilo USA is happy to provide you with the proper safety apparel to keep you protected on the track, and their karting lineup is second to none. The ST5 KRT karting helmet is available for $599. Manufactured using a lightweight and extremely strong composite material, the KRT provides an excellent fit and comfort level due to its dual density interior foam lining, and it's equipped with a symmetrical visor that offers excellent vision and an effortless central visor locking system. The ST5 CMR standard was developed jointly by the FIA Institute and Snell Memorial Foundation to ensure safer and lighter weight helmets for the younger karters. Drivers rave about the superior comfort levels, lightweight construction, and the unparalleled field of vision. The perfect youth helmet is available for $549. Stilo didn't stop with their helmets either. The newly developed Carbon Curva Rib Protector is unlike any on the market, with its form-fitting solution to offer superior protection. Head to StiloHelmets.com to review these and many more products to keep you safe on the track. Stilo. Any competition, one helmet. Feel like you're racing alongside the many legends that have called CRG home. With direct factory support, the CRG Nordam operation is the North American distributor for all CRG products related to karting and is based just outside Houston, Texas. The complete racing chassis line, including the famous Road Rebel shifter kart, is available through CRG Nordam. The growing FS4 Briggs & Stratton focused chassis is expanding worldwide, including right here in North America. Many tracks, indoor and outdoor, have made the switch to the Centurion rental kart line through CRG. New for the 2020 season is the Mini Hero for cadet racing, homologated for FIA competitions around the world. Head over to kartcrg.com or find them on all social media networks. All right, what do we do, Dave? Do we dive in here? All right, are you ready to get going with this or what?
Let's go.
All right, let's start with the Micro Swift category. This class brought to you by Team Bennick. David, 48 entries in total, as we had mentioned. Let's go. I'll just throw through the former winners. Bradley Majman was able to win the Australian in 2019. Ben Mayer winning the micro category back in 2018. Vinnie Phillips, the driver from Great Britain, winning in 17. And Vinicius Cesaro, the Brazilian, winning back in 2016. I'll let you go through the SCUSA Pro Tour points because these are obviously guys that are going to be watching this weekend.
Well, two of them will be in the field. One will not be. So Mateo Rousseau on the Nitro kart won the Pro Tour Championship. He'll be there carrying the number one plate on the weekend with Tristan Murphy also on a Nitro kart carrying the number 3 plate. Augustus Toniolo, who was under the Rollison Performance Group tent, he'll be racing up in Mini Swift for the SuperNationals 24. So 2 of the top 3 from the Pro Tour are just going to be in the field.
I think the key thing, and obviously with micro, David, is the younger kids coming into the sport, right? The youngest of the Superkarts USA program and pro karting. Because we missed 2019, there's only 3 drivers.
Yeah,
SuperNationals experience, right? Yeah, probably missed 2020, so the last race was 2019. So a lot of the kids with that were in that, even their first year of micro, very very likely on to the mini class. So only 3 guys with experience. That kind of changes things a little bit, I think, for the weekend.
Yeah, that's going to be the big key, and that's something we obviously have seen in micro throughout the last few years that we've had the category is kids coming up from kid kart racing to the micro division, and to be honest, what I wrote in the preview today, these micro kids keep their heads on pretty well when they're at the temporary circuit. They're not You're not over driving. They're not driving this way or driving this way. They're focused.
Block.
It's been really good racing in the micro division. I hope that with the amount of rookies, SuperNats rookies that we have going, that it stays that way. But again, you just never quite know what you're going to get with kids this young.
Yeah, 6 different countries represented in the category, 16 drivers from outside the U.S. David, do you want to throw out a couple of the names right now, or do you just want to hold on that for our predictions, or what do you want to do here?
Again, we've already talked about 2 of the nitro karts. I think, we're going to have Nick Tucker on here a little bit later, a lot of nitro drivers in the micro division. So I expect to see a lot of them towards the front. One of them obviously being Keelan Harvick. We've seen him win at the United States Pro Kart Series, won the championship there. We've seen him win at the Pro Tour. We've seen him just win at the Rock Vegas event, as well as other places, the SCUSA Winter Series as well too. So, I think he's going to be among the lead contingent, along with a lot of the other nitro kart drivers, Ashton Woon, both Tovo brothers, Ethan and Jackson.
Yeah.
So a lot of those guys there, but they also have the Paralyn guys. There's a lot of Paralyn drivers as well too that are in the micro division.
Couple of Bendix drivers. I know Marco Romero is very strong at Rock Vegas, which I think is obviously key. One of the things you look for in a temporary circuit. If somebody was quick a couple of weeks ago at Rock Vegas, they got that momentum. They got a feel for a temporary circuit. I think that would lead them to have momentum coming into the weekend. There's a number of great drivers. Like you said, Nitro got drivers on comp karts. You got both Reese Bowman and Lucas Palacio. Drivers have kind of worked their way forward. We look at some of the guys who were, regional champions as well. David, this is going to be a really the class is wide open for sure. Although there are some, I think, heavy favorites we could expect to be up front.
Yeah, and again, you don't quite know how a kid's going to perform at a temporary circuit. A lot of these kids will be, obviously they'll be there for the first time, and and it's a track that none of them have been able to test. So it's who can come out of the gate quickest and more confident than the other kids, and then you get the kids that might start off really bad early, but have worked their way up throughout the week. So again, a lot of give and take throughout the week.
All right, so let's take the time now to jump into the Mini Swift class. We're going to talk to Nick Tucker from Nitro after this, and then we'll do both of our Micro Swift and Mini Swift predictions. We can jump into some more names after that, but let's jump into Mini Swift. So we'll do our cadet categories, bring them together. Orsilon Racing, the sponsor of the Mini Swift class. As I said before, in the by the numbers, 66 entries, which is amazing. Former winners include Kai Sorensen, the American winning back in 2019, that great battle with Enzo Delaney to the line. Brent Cruz has won so many races over his young career. Cruz in 2018, some kid named Connor Zilich winning back in 2017, and Thomas Nepvu, the young Canadian, was a surprise winner, did a great job that year in 2016. But David, you look at some of, for those of you who don't know, Micro Swift and Mini Swift wasn't always split. In the earlier years, tag cadet was everybody from 8 up to 12 and 13. So the tag cadet winners, there's a couple winners right now, pretty impressive drivers. Some of them working their way up the Formula Car ranks. One of them already in IndyCar.
Yeah, Patricio Ward, the inaugural tag cadet winner at the SuperNationals, won in 2012. Logan Sargent, a former world champion in the OK Junior division, he won in 2011. A good college football player right now, Anthony Ganji Jr., I believe, playing at the University of Houston. He won in 2012. But if you look at the last 5 tag, Mini Swift tag cadet winners, all 5 of them are at the SuperNationals this year.
That's awesome. Yeah, you're right. You're right. That is fantastic. With Johnny Edgar winning in 2015, that's true. They're all there. Yeah. I love it. That's great. And Edgar coming back, of course, running, and I believe is he an F3 this year? Yeah, not top of my head, but
I can't remember.
Definitely into his Formula Car career for sure. Johnny's won a bunch of races coming up through the ranks. David, let's look at SCUSA Pro Tour points as well, because again, we look at those guys first being potential front runners throughout the season. They've shown the consistency to be able to be 1, 2, 3 in the points. Enzo Vidmontian has had a really strong season. Wasn't a factor really at the Rock Vegas race, which makes things interesting coming into this particular event. As both Jack Iliff and Oscar Iliff were very strong on the temporary circuit there behind Planet Hollywood.
Yeah, it's going to be these three drivers from the Pro Tour top three were solid all season long. Jack Iliff in his rookie season really shined. Has got over that rookie hump right away, and obviously that big victory last month helped solidify himself as one of the top mini drivers in the country. But Vid Montien's been quick all season long, and Oscar Iliff making his last cadet start this week or the next week. Before moving up to junior. So, again, a lot of different stories just in those top three drivers from the Pro Tour.
Dave, you got a couple more notes in here. Let's have those as well.
Because of missing 2020, we only have one driver who actually competed in the mini Swift category in 2019 at the SuperNationals, and that was Oscar Iliff. So he is, as I just said, one of the more experienced drivers in the mini Swift category. So that's going to be a story to watch, along with 11 different countries represented from 24 different drivers outside the United States.
That's amazing. Again, let's have a look at the. Sorry about that. Let's have a look at some of the names, David, you think are going to come up. We mentioned the guys who are 1, 2, 3 in the points with Oscar and Jack, and of course Enzo Vidmontien, who's had such a strong season doing what he's done. I look at a couple of the other names, and I think about the races we've covered and announced so far. We've seen, and you see guys like an Oliver Weldon be super strong, right? Vivek Candon, talked about him quite a lot through the season. But there's some regional champions as well that are moving up. But again, one of the cool things about the Supernats, we see drivers jump up. What are your thoughts on Augustus Toniolo coming in here as essentially a rookie in the mini category? It's a big jump for the Supernats in that level of age, I think.
Yeah, I don't think it's so much the speed. I think it's more the racecraft. It's going to be obviously a little bit more amped up. So that's going to be something to watch. Who's the other one? Bobby Klein from Texas, the Texas Sprint Racing Series micro champion. He's moving up as well too. So a number of drivers. But again,
Isaac Malkit as well.
He moved up earlier this season, about midsummer. So he's still getting, I think, used to the type of racecraft that you do have compared from micro to mini. So that's obviously going to be key. But really, a lot of these drivers are rookies. We've had, I want to say, I'm looking at, I didn't count it out, but maybe 12 drivers that raced micro in 2019. So a lot of these mini drivers are SuperNationals rookies. So again, we're going to see who's able to come out right away strong and have the confidence to race at this temporary circuit.
Yeah, and I like it, the fact that we look at the national guys, but there are also some guys that did well. And let's say the California Pro Car Challenge or the Texas Sprint Racing Series or something like that, right, David? Those are drivers that can eventually work their way forward as well. We look at guys that won in the Florida Winter Tour, like a Weldon, like an Augustus Toniolo, like we said. William Rasmussen, one of the drivers, vice champion in the California Pro Car Challenge. Here's a guy that it could take the opportunity, take his momentum coming off that regional program, lay it down to the Supernats and have one of the biggest races of his career.
Yeah, and again, that could be the case for a lot of these drivers. Don't quite have the opportunities to go test at a racetrack for a whole week, like a lot of drivers do have the opportunity to do that. Where this is, again, a temporary circuit. If you're quick and have the confidence right away, you can shine. But again, we know fast guys are always going to be fast. Maybe they're struggling a little bit with some grip or some situations, but that's the great drama that the SuperNationals bring is you have the 5 different days to gradually build yourself up and be strong, or just start away strong, be the guy to beat and hold that position all week long.
Well, we're obviously going to talk about more drivers when we do eventually roll out our predictions here. We'll do that after this interview. Let's see if he's ready. I know he's had his dinner already. So let's bring in Nick Tucker right now. Nick, of course, one of the big dogs when it comes to cadet racing. Nick Tucker, thanks for joining us here on this edition of the EKN OutLap. Obviously, Nitro Kart has been amazing since you've rolled it out. You've had a lot of success. And David, you had the stat there. What is it, like 20% of the field is Nitro Kart this weekend?
In the micro division, yep.
In the micro division. Nick, talk a little about the team that you're bringing this particular weekend.
Yeah, so really we have a super strong micro lineup. We've had that kind of all year. We've always had kind of for the last 5 years a super strong micro contingent. Mini's kind of cyclical of moving up, who's moving up early and who's not, right? So next year I look for us to have a super strong mini contingent, but right now our kind of big dogs are all in the micro.
let's get started with this first before we really even dive into the actual drivers to a certain extent. What does it take for a team to be able to put this kind of an effort together? Because I think, most people in the sport, maybe they're watching here right now, they run their club race, they run a regional event, they got a shop they run with. But when you're talking about bringing the kind of effort that you guys bring, how much time does it take to prepare for an event like the Superkarts USA SuperNationals?
Really, it's kind of a year-long, culmination of preparation and just kind of your whole program and how you direct it. But it's kind of, and then you kind of ramp up in November to prepare all the new chassis and make sure your engines are in line and people's in line. And this year was obviously more challenging with the hotel situation, right? Changing the hotels and logistics and whatnot. So kind of November, you ramp up a lot of logistical stuff.
It's such an interesting event, I think, for me, is because it's the end of the season, especially when you're dealing with younger drivers, cadet drivers, right? There's a level of maturity, and they continue to mature throughout the weekend. They're at different levels of maturity. One of the things that Nitro's done, and not just done it through what you guys do trackside, you guys do your Nitro Academy every year. You have a list of coaches that work with you as well. Can you tell us a little bit about how do you prepare a driver for this event? For a temporary circuit they've never been to before, for the walls. Is there anything you guys do special to try to prepare these guys for something like this?
You kind of just go with an approach, right? Of you kind of fill in the gaps of where, each driver kind of has their own idiosyncrasies, right? So you try and fill those gaps in and help them understand how to approach the event, with caution and because certainly you can put your whole weekend behind, with one crash, right? If you crash the last practice before qualifying, you may not have time to fix it properly, right? So there's a lot of things that go into it where, maybe you have to run 80%, part of the time or whatever to make sure that you're there at the end, right? It's just a tough format, so you just kind of have to approach it with some caution. And, there's some drivers that can go 100%. There's some guys that you got to scale back, right? So you kind of got to look at each driver individually and kind of give them direction from there.
I have to believe that's definitely the case, especially if you're bringing someone to a temporary circuit who's never been there before, because I'm sure you're holding your breath as is the team and the parents, those first couple of sessions when the track is super, super green. You just want the driver to go out and kind of learn the racetrack. But as we know, they start driving around each other and it's a race in the second session. Do you sit down with each driver and have like a one-on-one or something like that to kind of get them, maybe have their own particular focus and goal for each session?
Yeah, for sure. I think you have to approach it that way, right? Because each driver is kind of different. They have a different maturity level, a different driving style. And, with the temporary circuit, with the barriers, it kind of just amplifies everything, right? Where you have to, just hit all the details.
Let's talk about your coaching staff a little bit. I know, will Ashley be there? Ashley Rajero will be there with you on the weekend?
Yeah, she will. She's a mainstay with us and an important part of it. What we do, and then obviously we have Connor Zilich, who is really our main senior guy and kind of more of a mentor for the kids, right? That's kind of what Connor brings to the table, right? He's a mentor and just a good influence to the kids. And that's why we kind of have him running with us, right? It's just to add that element, somebody for the kids to look up to, and it's a little bit outside of our box, right? Because realistically, we specialize in the kids, right? So,
Connor is kind of still a kid.
Yeah, he really is, right?
Did you, when you
he
were
became
coming
a man
up,
real fast though when we went Trans Am racing?
There you go. Exactly.
He
He did. When you were coming up through the ranks, did you have like that somebody that you kind of looked up to, like maybe some of the micro kids do to Connor?
Yeah, I did. I had a couple influences, right? So we had my dad had his kart shop, right? So we had some older guys, that ran with us. We had David Owenthal ran with us in the shifter, and then we had Johnny Blair. So kind of had those guys around, throughout time that was a little bit older.
Yeah, I'm up here in Seattle right now, and there was a bunch of hot rods and great racing up here in Region 6, was there not?
Yeah, frankly, there's a time period where there's just a lot of strong guys, right? I look,
Yeah.
Like you have Rawlison and myself right now. I think we have two of the top programs in the country, and the Region 6 guys, right? I think right
Region
now
6 punks is what you were. Now you're like now you're industry superstars. I love it. It's fantastic.
Yeah. I think the region's a little bit lost right now, a little bit kind of on
Yeah,
an
sure.
own island.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to see them kind of get on the national stage, but
Agreed.
Still some good drivers coming out of the region, though.
Yeah, for sure. I think at times they got some guys, right? Yeah.
Oh, by the way, as we're talking about fast guys in the region, I get a text from Alicia saying there's still some fast girls in Region 6 as well. So
I don't know that I remember too many, but
wow.
No, I'm just kidding. There
was
definitely some good girls.
No doubt about it.
For sure. She was quite quick in her day.
She was pretty quick, no doubt about that. So was her sister Tracy. Listen, right. Let's go to the SuperNats. I don't know, Dave, you have any more questions, but we talk about the drivers and how important it is for them. For you as a guy, as a team owner, and it's your brand, right? It's Nitro Kart.
That's
right?
my question. Yeah,
you're Nitro Nick Tucker, right? This is Nitro Kart. I remember interviewing you in '99 when you won the SCUSA Pro Moto Tour race at Pat's Acres. You've come a long way since then. How important it is for you to be able to walk away from the SuperNats on Super Sunday with a couple of victories for your chassis?
It means a lot. In 18, we were able to double up and take Micro and Mini, and it was just kind of like a culmination of a dream and a vision, right, that came together, and it just really, really means a lot, right? It's kind of taking the place of any, the premier event, right? Back in the 90s, maybe it was a Duffy, right? That was that event.
Grand Nationals,
yeah, and now you kind of just, this is the event in the States, right? So it was just, and I think it's even more prestigious than what a Duffy was almost, right? Just because of the limited number of classes and the culmination of what the event means and the spectacle of being in Vegas and the professionalism of the event, right? So, it just means a lot to be able to come in here and compete and do well and, come away with a win. It's just, it's an important event. And we love competing in it, and it means a lot to what our brand is and sets a good tone.
Well, Nick, we love having Nitro Kart there. Thank you so much for joining us here. We appreciate it. We're going to see you in Vegas in just probably about a week's time, and we wish you the best of luck and all your team drivers as well.
Yeah, thanks for having us, and we look forward to seeing everyone next week, and should be a good week in Vegas.
Thank you, Nick. Awesome, folks. That is Nick Tucker from Nitro Kart. Nick, again, one of the top drivers coming out of the Pacific Northwest. Won a lot of championships, some races with Superkarts USA. Went on, did some car racing himself, and then got back to karting like so many guys have done. And as he said, couple of guys, and I say young punks because they were probably young junior sportsman drivers at one point racing each other, but with Rawlison and Tucker, I think Tucker was I think he might be a little younger than Rawlison, probably different category, but good stuff all around, David.
Yeah, Mike's got a little more gray hair than Nick.
He's got a little more.
A lot younger. Nick just said a lot younger.
All right. So listen, are we ready to do predictions? Are we ready to do predictions now?
Yeah, we're going to do predictions.
So you want to do yours first or me first? I'm easy.
Well, I did pull up last year's results, and I do have the score here if you want to care. I did have 81 points to your 66, so I do have the right of way. It is my team.
You did kick my butt. You normally do this. You normally do kick my butt at this for sure.
This one, I think this year is going to be a little bit different. Again, we had the year off, a lot of different scenarios going in. So
I will say this: you being trackside at the USPKS races, you get a better look than I do at all the drivers.
A little bit more. Yeah, the vision is really good. So I guess we can start with mine if we want to start with mine. I'll
drop the hammer.
Yeah, I'll pull it up right here. So here are my top 5 predictions for the Micro Swift category.
All right.
I think looking at yours, it's very similar to one another. I got to go with a hot hand. That is Keelan Harvick. He's pretty much won nearly everything this season, and I got to put him into the number one position for the SuperNationals 24 and get that on his resume. Pro Tour champion Gianmatteo Rousseau is going to be right there in number 2. My sleeper pick in the micro Swift category, Jackson Gibson. I've been watching. You just mentioned that. I've been watching this kid at the USPKS.
All right.
And he's gone from being at the tail of the field to battling for podium position. So I think, under the Rollison Performance Group tent, he's going to get that. He's got that confidence now, and I think he's going to have the ability to land himself on the podium. Tristan Murphy, again, another great driver all season long, the California Pro Kart Challenge champion. Got him slotted into the 4th spot, and then I got a Kart Republic sitting in there with Pathan Sarabhan in the 5th position.
All right, well, let's throw this out here too, folks. Those of you now who are cursing David Cole because they didn't pick your driver, right? I want to say this first. I literally agonized all day long. I was like, there's so many drivers you just don't know, right? So take it this way: if we picked your driver, that's awesome. If we didn't pick it, I'll say this: over the years, it's been a very good thing because it has motivated drivers. The young guys saying, "Hey, how did he pick me?" And then the older guys swearing at us, saying, "You."
We hear it more from the Masters guys than we do from anybody else. So tomorrow, make sure you tune in. We're going to see a lot of blurred words on the comments section.
That's probably true. All right. Let's have a look at my micro picks. We're very, very similar from the get-go to the start of the season. Watching Keelan Harvick and his aggression. His desire to always want to be up front and lead, and just the way he's had some success and a really good run over the second half of this season. I got Keelan up front. Tristan right there as well. He was very strong at the Rock Vegas event, which I think plays well and leads forward. The other driver I was watching from the Rock Vegas event was Marco Romero, qualified on the pole position and was in the fight all day long. He's kind of my pick that I think is more of an unknown. Didn't run the Superkarts USA Pro Tour, so I don't know as much about him, but I really like what I saw. And I'm like, this could be an opportunity. Same goes for Gianmatteo Rousseau. He's just been strong all year long. He's been so consistent on the Pro Tour. Everything I've seen, Rousseau's been good. And I went with Lucas Palacio, who was on the podium at the Spring Nationals. And I've seen him get better and better throughout the season. He was good on the temp circuit at Rock Vegas. I have a feeling that Palacio is going to pick up on the momentum there, Dave, and be right in the fight. And we'll see what happens when we go racing on Super Sunday out at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. That's my thought there.
He won at the Summer Nationals, so he does have that victory under his belt. So it's not anything new for him to be on the podium, 2 podiums at the Pro Tour. But I thought I wrote that down. Let me double check. Lucas Palacio.
Let's
jump.
Let's down. But
all right. Anyway, go ahead.
Let's go Mini.
Mini. Do we have any comments first before we go? No,
I don't see anything coming up here. Elaine St. Clair's asking about your EKN logo mini picture. She doesn't know about the ratio, right?
Yeah, we'll get into that later.
That's right.
All right. So we'll go to Mini.
Yeah, let's go to Mini. Nobody commenting on their actual picks yet, which is good. Right. We didn't get late.
There we go. So my picks for top 5 for the Mini Swift category. I'm going with his last cadet race. I know it. He's been waiting for this big victory to come all season long, and this is going to be it. He's going to go out on top at the SuperNationals. Oscar Iliff going to be number 1 when we end Super Sunday. So I put Oscar Iliff at first, and I put Jack Iliff third. This is going to be kind of very similar to what we saw at the Summer Nationals, where we had both Iliff brothers working together, and there was one wild card. Well, Mateus Orwela, he's not going to be racing Mini Swift this year. He's moved up to the junior ranks. So that one wild card is going to be Canadian Jensen Burnett. Winner at the Rock Cup Super Final in Italy most recently.
Right.
I think he's got the confidence similar to what we see with Mateus Orwela. He's very quick. Okay. He's got the European experience to go with him. I think it's going to be a 3-driver breakaway, and Oscar Iliff is going to pull out the victory. So that's my 1, 2, 3. I got Diego Ardiles in the 4th position. He's been really quick at USPKS. He's got 3 victories on the season. So I put him into my top 5, and then rounding out the podium in the 5th position is the Pro Tour champion of Enzo Vidmontien. He just, I thought about putting him as the winner, but he just quite hasn't been there at the end of the season. So he got a lot of quick good victories early on in the season, but July, August, September, October, not much there. So that's going to be my predictions for
we're close, right? We're close
Yeah.
on that because it just you see the momentum. Second half of the season momentum always plays a role in the SuperNationals, right? You get in there, and again we always look to see what happens at Rock Vegas, because especially when they were both at the Rio, same kind of pavement, same feel, different tracks now, but Enzo was kind of outside the top 10 a lot of times at Rock Vegas as well. So let's throw mine up there, because you're going to see a couple similar deals. I went the other way. I went Jack ILF. I just think that when I don't know what it is. And again, you could probably roll the dice when it comes to either Jack or Oscar ILF. They're both so quick. Jack there's a calmness about Jack, and he continues to win. Oscar's looking for that big one. Maybe when I thought about it, I was like, maybe Oscar throws a slide job on Jack and Diego and Luis get by him. You know what I mean? My mind was trying to how does this top 5 finish, knowing that there's always a lead pack? Right.
So you're going lead pack. You're not going.
I'm going lead pack, and I'm thinking Jack, because Jack always seems to come out up front. It's interesting how he gets it done. But I got Jack ILF with the win. Diego Ordiles, you mentioned, David, 3 times a winner at USPKS, and just a lot of momentum. Luis Amana, a driver from Rock Vegas, that I think will be up front, and this is going to be interesting to watch. I think he'll be in there, and he'll be one that kind of surprises people a little bit at the SuperNats. Oscar ILF, I've got P4 still. And again, my mind was that potential slide job by his brother, over under or whatever in the last corner kind of thing, or, the leading onto the straightaway. And then I'm with you. I'm with you on Enzo Vidmontien, which I know he's going to be in the top 5, and he could be battling for the lead. I just don't know whether or not he's going to be at the end. And again, here's our first slam. Amy Peterson Campbell says, I'm going to regret going against Jensen Burnett, and Amy's actually from the same hometown as I am in Cambridge. So yeah,
that's trouble for you.
But you know what? Again, this was it, right? I had 10 names down, and I'm like, I have to get this done. And I'm literally going through other names of guys that we've talked about all year running up front, and I literally was going back and forth. It was driving me crazy about who should be in there and who shouldn't be in there. Finally, I said I have to pick 5. So those are the 5. Those are the 5 I went with, right? Normally, what you and I do, David, there's some safe bets, and then you got to see. Ob Johnson just said you just forgot Kai Johnson, and I know. I'm looking at my thing right now. I got Kai Johnson in yellow. He's a USPKS race winner with Speed Concepts. Ob's like, you made a mistake. I know.
It's not necessarily a mistake. This is what we're betting on. Again,
we're trying to throw some fuel on the excitement fire. People
and
chatting
that too,
about
a little
it.
bit. Yeah.
But again, like I said, there were guys behind it, and I'm like, oh, this is horrible.
Just to remind you, go ahead.
No, I just don't say there's like Vivek Canthan. There's all these names out here, guys we've talked about. You know what?
Wait till we get to K100 Senior and X30.
Don't even start with me on that one. I know.
So just to refresh your memory, last year we both got a driver in the top 5 in micro. That was Spencer Conrad. Last year in Mini Swift, you predicted Enzo Delaney in the 5th position. So you got more points in the Mini Swift category. So we tied in micro, and you beat me in Mini Swift.
All right, I can live with that. So look at there's I love it. Here they come in. Diego, some quotes. Tanya Gialt saying Diego, yep, for sure. Could have talked about Diego.
Yeah.
Christopher Randolph could have been talking about Isaac Malkin. I could totally be talking about Isaac by the end of the weekend. That's the beauty of the Supernats, and we talked to Nick about it. What's that?
Read that.
Anyone from Connor Zilic Racing, anyone winning Rock Mini Final in Italy has got to be good. Toot toot, my own horn. Connor, no doubt about it. Listen, I announced that race a couple times over at South Garda, and it is an absolute barn burner, elbows up all weekend. So if you can win there like Jensen did, hey, listen, one of the beauties of this is we do our picks, we have fun with it, and then drivers can come back and rub it in our noses. I think that's
that's the best part. We wait around for that on Super Sunday.
We do. We love it. Well, you didn't pick me now.
All right, we're 45 minutes in. Let's get to our
Who's next?
third
What's
category,
next?
K100 Junior.
We pause for this quick commercial break. Stay tuned for more here on the EKN Radio Network. It all started in 1994 when former successful kart driver Albino Parolin decided to move his passion for karting from the track to his small workshop. That's when Parolin was born. Fast forward 20 years, and Parolin's passion for the sport led to the company rejoining international competitions as a factory team in WSK and CIK FIA races, with the aim of enhancing the research and development process, immediately achieving notable results around Europe, North America, and Asia, becoming the CIK FIA Asia Pacific KZ champion in the same year. Parolin USA is North America's source for Parolin products, and we run a factory team at all of the major Superkarts USA and Rock Cup USA events. The Parolin chassis lineup for 2021 includes the Invader Shifter, the Le Mans Tag single-speed chassis for junior and senior classes, and the 28mm mini kart for the cadet classes. Parolin has been winning races all over the world, and it's on top of the podium in the USA as well, with drivers like Kai Sorensen, Mateus Orjuela, and Alessandro De Tullio. Get on the chassis that's winning. Drive a Parolin. For more information, head to ParolinUSA.com. All over the karting world, everyone knows OTK is the gold standard for quality and performance. In the US, OTK USA is the source for all things OTK. From the legendary Tony Kart brand to the race-winning Cosmic and Esprit chassis, and now the new Red Speed and EOS brands, OTK quality is second to none. All 5 brands are winning races and championships across the country in national programs like the Rock Cup USA Florida Winter Tour and the Challenge of the Americas, the SCUSA Pro Tour and Winter Series, and the Pro Kart Challenge, the United States Pro Kart Series, and the WKA Manufacturers Cup. And OTK products are also front and center on the podium of club and regional races from coast to coast. To learn more about a specific product line, or to find the OTK USA dealer near you, whether it's Tony Kart, Cosmic, Esprit, Red Speed, or EOS, visit www.otkusa.com. Specific chassis territories are still available, so kart shops interested in adding a winning component to their product lineups can contact OTK USA directly. If you're searching for a program to elevate you in the motorsports ladder, Crosslink Competition is your next step. Crosslink Competition provides arrive and drive programs that include driver coaching, data analysis, and an engine rental program for all major events in the 2021 season. Team Crosslink is scheduled to compete at the Superkarts USA Pro Tour, Rock Cup USA, and United States Pro Kart Series events, along with regional and local programs from their home base in Texas. Crosslink Competition is a full retail shop for the Esprit chassis and OTK kart parts. Many new and used packages are available right now through their Dallas headquarters. For drivers interested in making the jump from karting to cars, Crosslink provides a streamlined opportunity for you. Team Crosslink and Kiwi Motorsports is a championship-winning operation in the F4 United States Championship program, providing the perfect transition within the same. Drivers looking to compete with the elite level karting program or pick up gently used team equipment are asked to call 214-432-4413. Be sure to follow them on all social media platforms at Team Crosslink. Now let's talk KA100 Junior, brought to you by DNJ Intermodal Services, the sponsor of the category. 46 entries for KA100 Junior. I looked at former winners Brent Cruz, of course, watching what he's doing on the dirt and running shifter as well. But man, what he's doing in some of his dirt racing is amazing. Back in 2018, James Wharton was the winner. I think he doubled up that year, did he not? I think
James won. He won KA100 Junior in 18, and then came back and won X30 Junior the next year in 2019.
And my mind's been but he I believe he just signed with, was it the Ferrari Academy, I think?
Yeah, Ferrari Driver Academy. So he's just signed on that. He's going to race the Italian F4 series in 2022.
Yeah, I love that. That's great. That's great for James. And he was fun to have over to run here. Listen, having the Australians at the SuperNats has really been kind of part of the lifeblood of it, right? Since we've had so many great Aussies come over to be with us. So again, I'll jump back over here, get back to my notes a bit here. David, look, SCUSA Pro Tour points though. Carson Morgan was the guy to beat all year long. Crazy thing is he's not even racing. He's jumping up to senior. But you got Noah Baker and Austin Jurors, 2 kids that I think will definitely be ones to watch on the weekend.
Yeah, they're going to be carrying the SCUSA banner for the Pro Tour Championship side of things. They'll be carrying the 802 and 803 number plates on the weekend or on the week. So they'll have that going in. And again, Baker picked up 2 victories at the Winter Nationals, kind of put himself in the championship hunt, and Jers picked up his first ever Pro Tour victory at the Spring Nationals. So a couple of winners on the Pro Tour that are going to be in there, but a number of different drivers we can choose from and talk about in this category.
Yeah, I'm just jumping over to the spreadsheet here again, where I have a ton of lines that are yellow.
Well, while you do that, I'm going to talk about there's only 6 drivers from outside the United States. And again, as we mentioned, no defending winners in the field, not to mention no Pro Tour champion in the field, as you just mentioned with Carson Morgan moving up to the senior ranks. So,
well, let's listen, before we jump into our predictions in this category, and we'll talk about more of the names there when we did predictions. Let's bring in a driver who's coming back here. I believe actually his debut as a junior driver at the SuperNats, right? A couple of years in Mini, bringing in Aiden Rudolph from Crosslink Competition, a Texan. Aiden, thanks for joining us, bud.
What's up, guys?
I appreciate you hanging around for 45 minutes so far too, as well. It's kind of what we figured. We figured 90 minutes all total. It may not be quite that much. Listen, it's been a great season for you. Obviously getting some pace and really having a good time at the Texas Sprint Racing Series. You end up P3 in the championship, but second half of the season, man, you were running USPKS and running up front. Tell me about the progression in your driving style, your career, whatever it is, to put you now in the fight for race wins.
Yeah, it was all when started in Ocala for the first round of the USPKS series. I was running in the X30 junior class, and that wasn't the best USPKS debut.
Okay.
But then, as the Texas Sprint Racing Series started up, and there wasn't a X30 class, the big numbers were in KA. We, as a family and team, decided to just do the remainder of the USPKS season in KA, so I get practice.
And let's talk about that, David. I'll let you comment, because you were able to be at all those races to watch what Aiden was doing. I was just watching live timing and listening to the broadcasts. Aiden started stepping things up at the end of the season. All of a sudden, he's in the mix. And we're talking about guys trying to win races.
Well, I think, and he can kind of comment on this, I think the key part is he had a number of races where he had to start at the back of the field because of something happening in the pre-final and had to fight his way through the field. I think that pretty much allowed him to go to school on not only the drivers he's racing with, but help build up that confidence. Do you think that's kind of helped you kind of move your way up? Because it looks like you're driving with a lot more confidence, and even standing on the grid, you look like you have a lot more confidence.
Yeah, totally. My qualifyings this whole year were up and down. But yeah, and then having to fight through the whole field. And then once I get up to the top 10, top 5-ish drivers, and then having to race against the big guys, definitely through the year improved my driving skills overall.
Is there one race where you would look at and say, "Man, this is my highlight"? I know you wanted to be the SuperNats in a week and a half's time, but was there a race you look back to this year and say, "Man, you know what? This is one where I think I really nailed it. I feel I might have been at my best, or at least put myself in a position to do what I wanted to do"?
I think it was the USPKS race at Road America. That was probably, one, it was my best qualifying position, P2, right next to Carson Morgan, only by maybe a tenth or two. And I showed speed that whole week. And then, going into the races, getting shuffled up with those big guys, definitely taught me some lessons going into GoPro.
Yeah, I can imagine.
What's working with the Crosslink guys? Sean Owens has been in the sport a very long time, but who else has been kind of vital underneath the tent to kind of help build you up and been able to put that confidence into you?
For sure, Andre Pedrosa, Dre. I think we all know who he is. He's been in the sport forever. He's definitely knocked some sense into me. He's definitely pushed me further than I thought my limit was. And he's been an extremely big influence this year on my performance.
Let me throw this out there because I guess it's a little bit of I don't say it's a big elephant in the room, but what I think is really interesting is that, your father is Alan Rudolph, of course, one of the, legendary drivers from the sport, ambassador for the sport. He's a coach, but he elected to grab you and I obviously, right, get you out of the nest, right? Because obviously anytime fathers and sons are battling each other, I don't care if one's a coach. Yeah, there you go. David as well, right? So you go to Crosslink. And again, like you said, out of your comfort zone, into a team with good structure. You're literally racing against your dad's team to a certain extent, right? You guys, but how big for you was that to be able to get out of that zone and find yourself, find out who Aiden Rudolph was? You're not Alan's son anymore. You're Aiden Rudolph. You're your own guy. I have to believe you were able to build your own place, at least for this year. I don't know what you're doing next year, but to be able to be with Crosslink this past year and a bit, I think that'd be massive for you, I would expect.
Oh, 100%. Just being able to go leave the nest, as you said, and go work with the older guys and have teammates that helped me out through this whole journey, and the guys under the Crosslink tent that have pushed me, and I appreciate the work that they've done with me, and I'm super grateful for the amount that we have achieved. And just looking forward for the rest of the year to keep pushing.
Let's talk about the rest of the year. One more race. Well, maybe we might have another Texas race we don't know about, but SuperNats is coming up. What's your expectations, Aiden, going into SuperNats? Crosslinks have been strong. They've got a great team, as you said, good people under the tent. For you coming in here in this awesome class, what are you focused on? What do you think?
This whole year has been a constant upward, very good upward.
Yeah.
Having my first national podium at GoPro just a couple weeks ago, maybe. I don't actually know how long ago it was, but
a month. Yeah.
a month ago, a couple weeks.
That's right.
I'm definitely up there in the standings. I'm easily top 10, maybe even a top 5 finish.
I like that. There you go. Yeah. I like the confidence, David. What do you think?
Again, I said he has a lot better confidence than the Aiden Rudolph I saw last year. There's a lot more there. He's a lot taller because Robbie's going to be taller than you now. I know you haven't seen him in a little bit, but he is taller than you. So I can relate because my son doesn't listen to me, so it's time to give him to another coach and let him go do his own thing. So I can certainly relate.
Well, Aiden, listen, it's been fun seeing you up front there. And that P2 qualifier, as you said, at Road America was obviously big. It builds that momentum, and that's probably what rolled down for you being able to get that podium at GoPro. We wish you the best of luck at Vegas. Look forward to seeing you and the whole CrossFit team there. Get some sleep. We'll see you in a week.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Aiden. Aiden Rudolph, folks, as David had mentioned, get a chance, David, to watch him grow, right? Develop. We've seen him since his micro days into the mini days. He's had a couple of starts at the SuperNats and mini. It'll be his first start in a junior category, but you can just feel. I love when a driver comes to an event like this with some kind of confidence, right? It's so crucial.
I mean, anytime you go to Vegas, whether it be racing or gambling, you got to have confidence, right?
That's right. Otherwise, you're going to lose it all. All right, so. Let's jump in here, David. Let's bring some stuff in here. I'm going to go over here to look at some other names just in case we want to throw some other names out. But what are your predictions? What do you got?
My predictions. We ready to go? All right. Yeah. Predictions for K100 Junior Top 5. It's funny because I've already seen yours, so I know it's happening. But we haven't talked about a lot of names, but this is one name we got to talk about is Chase Hand. Again, a second generation driver. That is kind of making a name for himself, very similar to Aiden Rudolph. Chase is kind of built up to this point. I know we've seen him at probably 4 different SuperNationals now, to where he was there just watching. Him and his father, Joey Hand, were
buying EKN t-shirts,
and just there soaking it in. So he's not going to go into the SuperNationals with that awe factor because he's been there enough. He understands it.
Agreed.
And being at a new location, it kind of is like, it's going to be new for everybody. So I think he's built this whole season up to this point. He's gotten winter championships. He's won both the Florida Winter Tour and the SCUSA Winter Series championships. Got a couple of victories on the season. No championships there. Stood on the third step of the podium for the championship at the USPKS. I just think everything's built up to this point, and I think he's going to be able to avoid all the bad mojo and end up finishing on top of the podium. Elio Meza, I think has been super quick all season long. A little bit of bad luck here, a little bit of other issues there. I think he's always been quick all season long. I think he's going to have the speed to be up front. And another driver that has been quick all season long, Jesus Vasquez Jr., California Pro Kart champion. Just phenomenal speed all season long. Won 4 victories there over the 6 rounds in 2021. Coming off a Rock Vegas victory, I think that's going to, again, build up the confidence going into a temporary circuit like this. So that's my top 3. I got Aiden Ingrata, the Canadian, finishing in 4th. Aiden is actually one of the 14 different drivers that are going to be doing double duty, racing both KA100 Junior and X30 Junior. He hasn't done the 100cc stuff all season long, at least at USPKS or the Pro Tour. So he's going to double duty here. He was actual on-track winner at Rock Vegas, but a penalty dropped him down to 3rd and gave that win to Vasquez. So I have Aiden Ingrata in the 4th position. And then the driver who we just talked to, again, confidence. All 5 of these drivers in my top 5 have confidence. They are going to be the drivers to beat this weekend. But again, the KA100 Junior category is so tight, it can be anyone's game. But I have Aiden Rudolph finishing off on the podium.
A good lineup, solid lineup for sure. I bring mine up here, and we're going to see some of the crossover that we have because you and I have very similar. And this is interesting because I wasn't sure. Look at you and I both going with Chase Hand, and I feel the same. The fact that you mentioned that he had been to the race before, I remember talking back in 2019 to his dad Joey about bringing him here just to get a feel for it, to see what it's all about. And then to see what he's been able to do over this past season, the momentum growing. Aiden talked about the momentum as well, David, and that's just it for Chase, right? He was super strong throughout the season.
It was always next year we'll be here. Next year we'll be here. And then we got to 2019 and they were like, next year we'll be here. Well, it didn't come. It didn't happen in 2020.
And strong at Rock Vegas as well on the temp circuit there, which I think is key. I'll throw Aiden Ingrata in the fight. Aiden's just been, I think, one of the most impressive guys over the second half of the season. He has been battling up front all year. And again, I always see Supernats is when guys start to peak. They're connected with the team. Everything's working together. And if you have that second half momentum, that for me is a lot about it, where Aiden Ingrata is right now. Jeremy Fletcher, for me, it's anytime Jeremy rolls onto the track, I think he can win a race. I think he thinks that, and I just think anytime he rolls, he could be the guy that wins. And even if he gets in trouble, he ends up fighting back. He's aggressive enough that if a gap is there, he'll go for it. So I see Fletcher P3. I have Parker DeLong in P4 because if Parker gets everything together and dials things in right and has the controlled aggression, not the overtop aggression, I think he'll be really good. And then again, Noah Baker from the very get-go, David, started the season at the Winter Nationals. From the very start of the season, I went, this kid's going to be one of the guys I'm talking about all year long. So I put Noah at P5. But again, let me just, as we're talking, Dave, I'll just jump over. We look at some of the names, guys that I looked at, and we're like, how do I not pick somebody? How do you not pick an Austin Jers? I didn't go with Jesus Vasquez Jr. only because I had him he was in my 7 or 8. Who do I drop? And he was one of them. Aiden Rudolph, Aiden was one of them. Of course, Elio Meza, one that I have highlighted here. Another kid, I think, kind of a long shot would be Cole Kleck. He was really good at the Summer Nats. I think he's getting better and better with Arcane Motorsports. I just want to throw Cole's name out there as well because I think he continues to get better and better. And again, David, like you said, for KA100 Junior in a field like it is, it's even worse in X30 Junior. But it's just so hard to pick those final 5, but there it is. Chase Hand. We both go with Chase Hand potentially for a win. A little bit of pressure.
Yeah, there's a lot. I left Fletcher out. I just don't think he struggled in the 100cc stuff towards the end of the season. So that's why I kind of knocked him off. But again, I think, kind of like we were talking about with the mini Swift category, I think there's going to be a big lead pack in this race. So it could be anybody. We could completely miss on the top 5s for sure. There's no doubt about that.
And think about this racetrack, what it looks like. It's that same deal with the left-hand hairpin. They're going to be stacking on top of each other through the S's, and then that big run down the straightaway, 17 wide into the final corner.
Yeah.
Away we go. We pause for this quick commercial break. Stay tuned for more here on the EKN Radio Network. Established in 1999, PSL Karting has become a powerhouse within the karting industry for North America and around the world. PSL Karting is your complete source for all Burrell Art products as the North American importer, providing this top quality product through both their expansive dealer network or through the PSLkarting.com online store. Whatever you need is available 24/7 online, including safety gear, parts, components, and full karting packages. All three brands, Burrell Art, Ricardo Kart, and Charles Leclerc Karts, are in stock and ready to hit the track. Grab your winning chassis for any category by visiting PSLkarting.com to find your nearest dealer. PSL Karting is always looking for interest in new dealers and teams to help create new business relationships. Drivers looking to take their talents to the next level can join the Burrell Art North America race team, competing at all the major U.S. and Canadian events this season. When you're ready to win, go with PSL Karting. Fast, fair, and fun. Ignite Spec Karting offers you all of that at an affordable price. And the all-new IgniteKarting.com website provides you with the information you need to fuel your passion for kart racing. Ignite Karting is a spec kart that features the Margay racing chassis with a Briggs & Stratton 206 engine and a Hoosier R80 tire. Everyone in the junior, senior, and masters classes utilize the same Ignite K3 kart, which puts all the emphasis squarely on the driver. You can race the Ignite package from Margay at the local, regional, and national level. Special events for 2021 include the Ignite Majors, featuring events at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, Quincy Grand Prix, and Newcastle Motorsports Park. Those in the Midwest can enjoy the regional-based Ignite Challenge Series at tracks in Iowa, Missouri, Indiana, and Illinois. Local club programs have been established in Idaho, Texas, Nebraska, New York, Ohio, and Florida. All the information that you're looking for on events throughout the country and on all the Ignite kart packages, including dealers in your area, is available at IgniteKarting.com. Get off the couch and on the track this year. Ignite Karting. Fuel your passion. We don't just drive trucks because they're dependable workhorses that let us tackle icy roads all winter and tow a boat on the summer weekends. We also drive trucks because they're fun. And the Cooper Discoverer Rugged Trek is a truck tire made with fun in mind. Like any Cooper tire, the Rugged Trek is designed to do everything you need it to do. It's got stone blockades to protect your tires off-road and whisper grooves for smooth, quiet street driving. But with its in-your-face design, like the dual sidewalls that let you choose between two aggressive looks, the Cooper Discoverer Rugged Trek is also a tire that shows off your truck's wild side. It's the tire that's off-road party on the outside and dependable all-purpose Cooper design on the inside. Learn more at CooperTire.com. Go with the Coopers. All right, let me get over to the script. What am I going to do next here, David? We just finished up the junior predictions. Let's go into X30 Junior. We're almost done, folks. We got X30 Junior. We're going to talk to Caleb Gaffera from Roland Performance Group, and then we got our predictions to cap things off. 48 entries in X30 Junior, brought to you by Speed Lab Racing Engines. Winners, we mentioned already James Wharton, who's moving on to his racing career in cars overseas. Jeremy Fairburn was a winner in 2018. I believe I picked that, David, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I don't have 18 numbers in front of me, but yes, I do think you picked that.
I think I did. Jack Crawford was the winner in 2017. Jack's a guy to watch, folks, because he's going to be running FIA Formula F3 next year. Scored race wins in the Euro Formula Open Series as well, sponsored by Red Bull. He could be a driver making his way to Formula One as an American driver there. Tyler Gonzalez has become one of the top drivers in sports car racing. It was a winner in 2016. I'll let you go further back, David, because I know you've got all the results. Let's talk Tag Junior. Before it was X30 Junior, it was Tag Junior, and there was a bunch of really if you go through here, speaking of Formula One, there's a couple of Formula One drivers in there as well.
Yeah, Lance Stroll winning in 2012, the Canadian, and then George Russell, the British driver, winning in 2011. Both of those are racing on Sundays in Formula One. Logan Sargent in the F2 program, right? F2, I believe. Yeah.
He'll be a Williams test driver next year too in F1.
There you go. He won in 2014. So that was his second time winning at the SuperNationals. Some Brazilian drivers, Yurick Calvo winning in 2013, Yao Vieira in 2012, and Felipe Fraga, the inaugural winner in 2008.
Yeah, Arthur Laced as well was a winner in 2015.
Yeah, that was the first year away from the Rio at the Westgate at the Las Vegas Convention Center. That was a good performance by Arthur there.
Indeed. Superkarts USA Pro Tour points, obviously the first guys you look at for a SuperNationals win. Carson Morgan, of course, winning the championship, but again, he's moved on to senior. We'll talk more about Carson potentially tomorrow. Max Garcia finishing second, the driver out of Florida, and Jeremy Fletcher. David, you mentioned what he did in KA 100. Maybe didn't have the pace in your mind in the second half of the season, but for sure looked good again in X30 Junior. He will be he was a third place guy. 20 drivers though, David, from outside of the U.S.
Yeah, 20 drivers outside the U.S. Two former winners, SuperNational winners in the field. They actually didn't win in the junior categories though. We talk about Vinnie Phillips won in the micro division in 2017. And then Kai Sorensen winning in the mini Swift division, the USA driver coming back from racing in Europe all season long, coming back to the U.S. As a defending race winner in the mini Swift category.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So this is going to be a heck of a barn burner race for sure. There's so many. Again, let me jump over real quick to my spreadsheet just so I can have a look at this because it's just ridiculous. There's 40. I think I have 48, I believe, on the sheet, David. And again, just stacked top to bottom. We got some drivers coming in from outside the country, as you said. Let's bring in our guy, our interview that we have joining us here to be part of our X30 Junior interview. We've got Caleb Grafera, who will run for Rawlison Performance Group. But Caleb, how are you, man?
Good. How are you guys?
We're really good. Obviously, thanks for hanging out there. You've been waiting for over an hour for your chance. We let you go play Call of Duty or whatever you wanted to do. So we knew you were going to be having some fun. Listen, it's been an interesting year for you because, again, being in Europe, it's been a crazy couple of years. You got stuck over there, back and forth, COVID testing, the whole deal. But you did a lot of racing in Europe this year. Then you come back, right? And David, I'll let you roll out some of the specs or some of the notes we have for Caleb. But you come back home and kind of pick up everything you learned over in Europe. You're a different guy when you get back. You had some pretty good runs. Let's talk about what you did in USPKS. Pretty nice to be able to grab a victory there.
Yeah, we got there and I went out for a section. I was like, wow, this is a lot different from what I remember. And and we go out and I was like, are we even in the top 5? And we go out for last session, we go P1. I was like, okay, so we're there. And then it just carried on through the weekend.
Maybe the first thing to come out with is the fact that obviously you made a move to a new team as well. You elected to move to the Rawlison Performance Group. You were over in Europe with the guys there. You come over here to run with Rawlison Performance Group. For a young driver like you, that's a big change, right? Because each team has its own culture, its own way of doing things. You come into Rawlison Performance Group, and I always comment that drivers learn different ways, right? And teams teach different ways. Tell me what it was like for you to go into the Rawlison Performance Group with Mike and the crew there. It seemed based on your pace that it was a really good fit. Is that the way you would assess it?
Yeah. So we went the weekend before. We went and tested with them, and it went really well. There was only like 3 juniors. There was me and Grata and Weldon, and we were quick all that testing weekend, and then we went into the race weekend. My home track. I knew the track, so we were quick the whole weekend. And
did you put any pressure on yourself? Because obviously you've been running in Europe. First question, did you put any pressure on yourself? And second question, what was the most important thing you think you learned or evolved as a driver being able to run over in Europe?
Just the type of racing, how it's more aggressive, and it's just sometimes you can get really unlucky and sometimes you're really lucky.
Yeah, very true. Here's a fun question for you. I know that you were struggling to find the food you wanted to eat when you were over in Europe. What was the first thing you had when you got back to North Carolina?
First thing I had, what was it?
Did you go somewhere? Did you go to a Waffle House
Chick-fil-A.
or something like
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A.
First thing.
Attaboy. All right, so you run for Rawlison. You're the second kind of half of the season here, late in the year. How does that set things up? Let's talk about Rock Vegas, because that's obviously, I think, one of the events that you did that kind of leads into the SuperNats for you. You were pretty strong there at Rock Vegas. I was able to watch the final there. Your dad actually had the video on. That's what I was watching. And you kind of fell back a little bit near the end of you're running P3 and you were falling back. They kind of caught you a bit.
Yeah,
you went elbows up after that, and that was pretty fun to see. Maybe some of your European training there. Talk about kind of falling back into the clutches there. What happened?
So I was pushing, and then I was catching Chase, and then he started pulling away. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna sit here, try to just chill out and not push too hard. And then that all went downhill. And then I started getting caught, and then they went by me. I was like, okay, I can catch them. And Jeremy started blocking with 2 laps to go. And that's where I caught back up, and then I was there.
There you go. So, okay, so let's look at SuperNats. You've been there before. You've raced there before. A lot of experience there. Going to a different venue, but essentially the same track layout. What are your thoughts going into there? Give me your overall view. What are your expectations? Let's start with that.
Well, I think it'll be a fun race. I know it's same track, but I think it'll be a really good race. There'll be probably a lot of people. And I would like to have a bit of a different track, but it's all right. I mean, it hasn't happened, a year? So it's all right.
Yeah. So wait, what are your plans for next year? Are you staying in junior again next year? So do you have another shot? So you have another shot at the SuperNats if you don't get it this year. Does that take any pressure off, or do you want to get 2 SuperNats, not just one?
No, I want to get both of them.
You want to get both? All right. So what's it going to take though? How fast do you have to be coming out of the gate? Can you come out of the gate and just kind of get settled in, or do you feel like, are you the kind of guy that wants to be P1 every session?
Both. I mean, normally at a new track, I'm normally right there quickest, because I always love slick tracks, super slick tracks. Okay. And that's really that was the main thing. I mean,
it seems like watching you especially at the USPKS finale and at Newcastle for the USPKS there, seems like your mentality has kind of changed from when you were mini to now junior, where you want to be the guy in the lead. Where I think mini, you were kind of relaxed and you were happy with running second because you knew exactly where to pass. What is it, because of the change in class, or is it just the change in mindset that you're doing that?
I mean, I haven't changed too much, but I mean, sometimes I feel like I have to push a bit more, other than sometimes where you could just sit back and just draft off them, catch up to them, and you'd be fine. But
okay.
All right, Caleb. Well, listen, let me wrap it up with this, because we talked to Aiden, we talked to Nick, and just, who are you as a driver right now? Again, I love that question about, do you want to lead? Do you want to finish second? Who are you now? How have you evolved? What's your style of driving? Let's start with that.
My style of driving is, if I'm in second on the last lap, I'm going for anything I can.
Yeah, that's it. All right, let that be a warning for those of you who are running in front of Caleb. He's sending it if he's gonna get, that's where he is. Well, Caleb, listen, we look forward to seeing you in Las Vegas. We're gonna be there pretty soon, just about a week's time. I think you said you were rolling in Tuesday night, so you'll be probably on a flight right now or landing in Las Vegas right now. Mm-hmm. Until then, take care of yourself. Happy Thanksgiving to you and the family, and we'll see you in Las Vegas.
Thank you. You too. Thank you, guys. See ya.
All right, man. Caleb Gaffaro. It's been fun watching him come all the way up through David, through micro, through mini. His dad, Chuck Gaffaro, was on the wrenches for many, many years. Chuck's got the hell out of the way now. Let the professionals get in.
He's got podiums. He's got podiums at the SuperNationals.
Chuck does.
Yeah, Chuck does. So that's something. Maybe that's one thing I forgot to ask. Is do you need bragging rights? He's
still there. We can bring him back in if you want.
All right, hold on.
Stay there, Caleb. He's listening. I like it. Let's
bring him back in.
Yeah.
So because your dad stood on the podium, I think twice at the SuperNat. Well, once, and then the second time he missed the trophy presentation, so he wasn't there.
Yeah.
Because I had his trophy because he wasn't there. Does that drive you to want to be on the podium multiple times, and if not, win multiple times?
Yeah, and the other thing is that he's never got a Scuso in. And that's how I always brag on him. Yeah, you never got SCUSA win.
All right. I like that.
That's good. Good to know. That maybe that will drive him to race Masters next year.
Hopefully, I want him to.
See, this is what we're talking about. Listen, folks, those of you tuning in right now, everybody wants to see Chuck Gaffera get off his ass and get back into a kart, right? We're really going to start to push him hard to try to get him racing again, and we'd love to see him back out because again, he was definitely, David, big part of the Tag Masters category for a long time. He and Jim Russell Jr. running the Paralins, and it was always good to have them there. But yeah, we need to make that happen. We need Chuck back behind the wheel. But
he's in the
I got a feeling. What's that?
He's here. He's watching.
Of course he is. Yeah, that's good. I want him to hear it. He better be. He's already posted on here.
He's probably too afraid of us. That's why he does. That's why he doesn't want to race cup karts. He's afraid of us.
He's not afraid of us at all. That's the other guys right there. They definitely hate us. But
all right,
Caleb, we hope you get a couple of wins so you can be the all-time SCUSA winner in the Gaffera family.
Yep.
All right,
thank you. See you guys.
Yeah, long time, great family in the sport. The Gafferas for sure, and Chuck, of course, was a lot areas there. Chuck along, lots of race wins, road course, you name it, he did it all, and then some stock car racing as well. All right, David, let me jump over to the script, make sure. Yeah, all we're doing is junior predictions. Then we're done, right?
That's it. You ready to go?
I know things are blowing up here. Some people are.
I'll get mine up. I'll get mine on the screen right now, so everybody can at the selections I have. Again, pointing the fingers because I'm awesome. So, X30 Junior top 5 predictions. I got to go with probably one of the more successful drivers at the SuperNationals and in the SUSA Pro Tours program, Kai Sorensen. I have him coming back to the U.S. He did it at the Winter Series, scored the championship there, left us pretty much for the whole rest of the year, came back for 1 or 2 races here or there, and is coming back home for the SuperNationals. I have him coming away with victory. I have really the top 2 are European racers. You consider Kai Sorensen a European racer, along with Vinnie Phillips, another former winner, winning.
This is the one that I missed.
I told you. Yeah,
I missed it. I didn't see it in there.
Again, won the micro division in 2017 and then finished 4th behind Sorensen in the mini division in 2019.
Yeah,
he's been racing X30 category all season long in UK and in Europe as well. I think he loves Vegas. He has this on his calendar every year. Yeah. Why would I not pick him? So
I agree. I didn't even see him.
So I have Vinnie Phillips there in second. Again, the hot hand, Aiden Ingrata, very good all season. At the end of the season, almost clipped Jeremy Fletcher for the USPKS championship in the X30 junior division. Just came up short, but as we talked about, has good confidence. And again, you can't go wrong with a Canadian, right, Rob?
Yeah, agreed.
So, and then driver he just talked to, again, he's going to be in the hunt all week long. Caleb Gaffera. Gaffera. Sorry, I know.
Gaffera Fawcett.
Gaffera Fawcett.
There you go.
I'm just going to call him Caleb G from now on. That's his,
Caleb G. Yeah.
Caleb G, because that's his handle on social media. So,
yeah.
So I have Caleb in the 4th position, and then another driver who's been pretty successful there at the SuperNationals, and then on the Pro Tour as well in his rookie season in the junior division. Max Garcia finishing in the 5th spot. Garcia's got 2 podiums in his last 2 SuperNationals, a 3rd in micro in 2018, and then a 5th place in mini in 2019. So, again, a lot of different drivers, Chase Hand doing double duty. He has the opportunity to be there. Fletcher, I didn't put him on. DeLong, Paul Bocuse, racing there as well. Noah Baker, a lot of other different names, Sebastian Weldon, Logan Toke, a lot of different names that I could have went with.
Yeah, dude, I feel exactly the same way. I'm just loading this up so I can see it. Yeah, It's just crazy, right?
You ready for yours?
Throw mine up here. We'll still see what we got. So I'm with you on Kai Sorensen. There's just something about the SuperNats with Kai. It's like it's an event that really brings the best out of him, and he's always able to kind of step things up. And there's always that confidence we talked about when it comes to being there anytime. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He'll roll out strong, and I think he'll be good throughout the entire time. He'll be in the fight. I mentioned Fletcher, as I said before, when we talked about KA 100 Junior, where I believe that anytime he's able to roll on the track, he thinks he can win a race. and I think he'll be in the fight. We're so close. I didn't see Vinny Phillips. I would have struggled where to put Phillips in there now and who I would have got out of the top 5, because I've got Aiden Ingrata there as well. I got Caleb Gafera and Max Garcia. It's funny how you and I are so similar sometimes and where we put everybody. And I'm sure that, just for those of you who didn't know, in the chat side of the off chat that our guests are allowed to be with us on, in case they want to talk to us, Caleb already started throwing some smack at David in the chat after he said that he was 4. I got him P4 as well. And one thing I will say, and every time we do the predictions, it could easily, the entire top 5 could get jumbled around, right? Garcia could win, Caleb could win, but that's one of the things we've always said, David. That can happen anytime because it's so close. It depends on who hits and which team is rocking. You never know who could be up front, but these are the guys. We throw the names out and the numbers where they're going to be. Yeah, we think one guy's going to win, but for the most part, we just believe that they're going to be in the fight, right?
It could be none of these 5. You know, that's
true.
The wild part about the SuperNationals. Again, I'm just gonna throw some numbers out here. I did pick the winner last year in KA100 Junior with Brent Cruz. I had 4 of the top 5 in the top 5. You had 3. For X30 Junior, we both had 2 drivers in the top 5 with Connor Zillage and Dehan as the other drivers. So we're pretty good at the junior ranks, so better than we did in micro and mini. So it's going to be kind of hard to separate ourselves because the only difference is here you have Fletcher, I have Phillips. So yeah, I think I have the upper hand in that one.
You feeling good about that one?
Right, I do. I mean, yeah. Again, Fletcher's one of those that I had on the outside. You know, he was on the bubble. He was on the outside looking in, and I just kept him off.
Well, like I said, I didn't see Vinny on there. Had I seen Vinny, it would have just made it harder for me.
I gave you the notes. I gave you plenty of notes with all. I
hadn't looked at yeah. I didn't.
You got to look at past results because that's one thing we've seen with SuperNationals, and we'll get into tomorrow for our master and senior divisions. A lot of these drivers just have success at.
I literally just didn't see it.
Yeah,
because on your hold on, because on your notes you don't have a team. And you don't have where he's from. All you have is GB. And I didn't see
he didn't put a team. He didn't put a team.
I get that, dude. 100% get that. I just know how you're. Yeah, Caleb Gafera says I'm leaving. He bailed out on us.
Yeah, he didn't like the P4. It's okay.
He didn't like the P4 at all, which is good. I like that.
That's fine. You know what? Because Sunday, if he's P1, he has the right to shame us.
And so when we do our debriefs at the bar, like we always do, we'll have to figure out what bar we're going to do our live debriefs on Facebook. We'll have to bring the guys that we if anybody wins that we didn't even pick at all, they can come and slam on us.
Well, that's when we have to buy them a drink if they're old enough, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We pause for this quick commercial break. Stay tuned for more here on the EKN Radio Network.
Wins at the sport's biggest races and championships across all levels of karting make up the resume for Nitro Kart. The Nitro Kart has made its statement as the best, fastest, and most reliable cadet chassis on the North American karting market. The 2021 Cadet is the evolution of that success, featuring the latest development and components to put you at the front. If you want to win in Cadet, get a Nitro Kart and join the team. The Nitro Kart Cadet claimed 5 victories at the SCUSA Pro Tour, including the Mini Swift Championship in 2020. At the United States Pro Kart Series, Nitro Kart Cadet earned 5 wins and 14 podiums in mini and micro competition. For a second straight year, Nitro Kart won the U.S. Rotax Grand Nationals in the Minimax division, bringing the title total to 4 in 4 years. If you've seen it on track, it certainly caught your eye. Dominating the 4-cycle world is the Nitro Kart Lefty chassis. The chassis is designed for the Briggs & Stratton 206 engine with a left side mount for better weight distribution. The Lefty is available in cadet and full-size frames. The Nitro Kart Lefty won the CKNA Grand Nationals 4 in both sportsman and junior categories, with fast time in qualifying for the senior division. Drivers with the Lefty were ranked number 1 in the Briggs & Stratton Weekly Racing Series for junior and cadet divisions. Team Nitro Kart will be at all major events in 2021 with programs tailored to every driver's needs. Focused on driver development, the cadet program under Team Nitro Kart has helped develop some of today's stars, including Brent Cruz, Parker DeLong, Ben Mayer, and Spencer Conrad. Visit Nitro Kart online and find them on Facebook and Instagram.
Located in Mooresville, North Carolina, on-site at GoPro Motorplex, Kart Sport North America features over 6,000 square feet of retail space. Along with being the official race team and distributor for the Kart Republic chassis, they offer full retail sales, kart service and storage, and products from the top brands in the sport, such as CZ Chain, Talon Sprockets, SKF bearings, and Prisma tire gauges. If you want to take your racing to the next level, they also offer driver training and coaching programs available trackside at GoPro Motorplex. They have a massive inventory, so head to their online store at kartsportna.com to get same-day shipping of the parts and components that you need. While you're there, check out their used section of karts, engines, parts, and accessories. Kart Sport North America. Top quality products, winning brands, and professional driver development services.
In racing, experience is priceless. Franklin Motorsports is a leader in the karting industry with over 50 years of combined karting experience, and we can provide you with everything you need to go racing. With a large online product selection, select track support events, and a wide variety of shop services, Franklin Motorsports is your complete karting source. Check out our online store at www.franklinkart.com, where all our products are just a mouse click away. We're constantly adding to the growing product selection on the online store, and we ship daily to ensure products get to you quickly. We specialize in IAME engines, tilt seats, ceramic products, driveline branded products, Briggs & Stratton engines, OTK products, and of course, the championship-winning Merlin chassis. In our online store, you'll find a variety of items to fill your karting needs. Franklin Motorsports is also known for our wide variety of services and is home to Innovative Engine Works by FMS, our in-house engine service department. Frame straightening, kart prep, and dyno testing are all services offered regularly at Franklin Motorsports. For all things karting, visit franklinkart.com. Well, that's it, Dave. We got this thing wrapped up. That's we got lots more. Obviously, we're doing another one of these tomorrow. I know that David's putting these together. We got a huge list of guys coming to join us tomorrow, David. There's a lot of guys on the docket to chat with tomorrow.
Yeah, we have Scott Sketchy Barnes from Bermuda joining us for the Master Shifter category. I'm working on Scott Kopp for the X30 Master along with Kip Foster. Kip said he's only 12 hours difference ahead of us. Okay. And so it'll be morning time. It'll be 8 a.m. morning. So it's 9:20, I think, there right now. The next day. So it'll be Thursday for him. So it'll be Thanksgiving.
Four-time winner, right?
Or it'll be Thanksgiving here, but not there, obviously. But
four-time winner, Kip?
Yeah, four-time winner. What's the next category? KA100 senior.
Four-time, almost six-time winner.
Yeah, Purdue. Yeah, we'll get into that in the interview.
Yeah.
KA100 senior. Who did we? I have Paulie Massimino, last 2019 winner, and then the provisional winner from 2019, Brandon Lemke. So we'll have both sides of that category there. And then X30 senior, we have Ryan Norberg, Connor Zillage, and Hannah Greenemeyer, the top three drivers in the EKN driver rankings for tag action. And then to wrap it up, we'll have Danny Formal, last year's KZ 2019 SuperNationals KZ winner.
2-hour show then?
It'll probably be a 2-hour show because we have one more category. Obviously the Masters category will Master Shifter. There's not as many drivers to kind of go through. But we'll try and make it a little bit quicker. So I would say within 2 hours, yes.
We don't need to spend the 10 minutes talking about the race itself and the track and the numbers either. We've already done
that. I think we've covered that. We'll get through the numbers quick.
Yep.
And then, we've already talked about the format. We'll kind of breeze through that and some other things.
So, folks, we're still dialing things in terms of our marketing package, our partners that are involved. Alan Rudolph Racing Academy, once again, with us as the title sponsor. Great to have Alan, the whole crew with us as the sponsor of our broadcast, allowing us to do what we do. Acceleration Kart Racing, again, presenting Super Sunday as they have for so many years. A number of other partners coming on board with us. We'll let you know more about those as it happens. We'll be, of course, on all our social media platforms throughout the entire weekend at SuperNats, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Our hashtags EKN at SCUSA and hashtag SuperNats24. Great way to follow along. Of course, David, all the daily coverage. We'll be rocking the social media. As we said, we'll be live on the EKN .com/live for audio on Thursday for qualifying, Friday and Saturday for heats and last chance qualifiers. And of course, we'll stream through our live as well on Super Sunday, but that'll also be live video on the Superkarts USA Facebook page. Good folks from Greenlight will be there again. They do a tremendous job. Dave, just looking forward to getting back to Super Sunday for the 24th time.
Very excited. Here's one last comment to close out I'll let you read it.
Says from Scott Grenier, he says, Caleb told me to talk to you guys about those predictions.
That's one of Caleb's Call of Duty squad members. So
that's true.
And also the wrench for Colin Daly in the pro shifter category. So we'll see Scooter in Vegas next week.
So, folks, we appreciate everybody who shared our stream and we got it rolling. We'll do the same thing tomorrow. We'll get it out there so people know where to tune in. You can share that so people can tune in. Again, David, we're looking at, same start, right? We're still doing the 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific?
Yeah. 8 o'clock Eastern time, 5 o'clock Pacific. Again, so same bat channel, same bat time.
That's it, man. Hope you all tune in. This is it. We're ready to go. It is essentially locked and loaded, push on town to get through all the way. David, you got previews coming. What's coming up tomorrow on the website?
Tomorrow will be KA100 Junior and X30 Junior. So you'll have the full entry list, pre-entry list for both of those categories tomorrow, as we did Mini and Micro Swift today.
And then 2 categories a day, right? All the way through the weekend?
2 categories on Thursday. That'll be X30 Master and Master Shifter. And then we'll do the remaining categories 1 per day.
There it is, folks. We're going to wrap things up before we head on out. I fly into Vegas on Monday. David rolls in on Tuesday. We'll be trackside and good to go. And again, as we said, we'll go live for qualifying on Thursday. Thank you so much for everybody for tuning in. Big shout out to Greg Bell and Leading Edge Motorsports for being our presenting sponsor of this edition of the EKN OutLap. And as always, big thank you to everyone at Cooper Tires and everybody at Superkarts USA as we continue as the official media partner for the organization. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. An hour, almost an hour and a half, David. Pretty good show.
Good show. Looking forward to tomorrow.
Let's do it. Thank you so much, folks. On behalf of David Cole, my name's Rob Howden. Book it.